Welcome, Bowl Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness. I'm back from Far Harbor, and I had a great time there. I thought it was a really good DLC. I've decided to start having my outfit match the theme of the settlements a little bit, and minor spoilers for Far Harbor ahead. This is something that I picked up while I was there. It's the Vault 118 vault suit. So here we are today at Tenpines Bluff. Now when I found this place, I was very early in the game. I had just run into a pack of feral ghouls, and Lucas Sims and his caravan guards came in and saved the day. I was excited to meet Lucas because he was the first merchant that I found in the game, and I decided to follow him, and I started following him thinking that maybe I would end up at a town or something. We started passing these arrows, and I got excited thinking that I was going to come to a town with maybe some quests and some vendors, and instead, Lucas led me to, well, he led me to this crap hole. This is Tenpines Bluff, which is the settlement that I love to hate. It is a small settlement, as you can see from the borders there. I don't like how uneven the ground is here. It makes it very difficult to build cool stuff. I don't like this crappy little shack. I don't like that when I first came here, instead of offering to help me, the residents asked me to go out and clear a giant factory full of raiders before they would think about joining the Minutemen. I don't like this wall, which is really in the way in a lot of places, and I don't like this crappy little house that is hard to do anything with. So really the only thing here that suggested any kind of story was, oddly enough, this little bit right here. This little washed out section kind of suggested a flood to me, and so that has been incorporated into the story of this particular settlement. So I mentioned one part of the real world part of the story, which is that I don't like Tenpines Bluff very much. The second part is that this is a starter settlement. It's clearly a starter settlement when it comes to the amount of size and space that's available. So I decided to try and kind of keep that vibe a little bit in the game. So this is not heavily fortified, there's not bloody great walls around it. So here we go. Welcome to the shelter. Now we're gonna come in here and take a look at a couple little things. I've got this little shack here that was mainly built for a place to have the sign. We also have our little crafting shed here. I took the beds out of it because this felt more like a shed that you'd work in, not someplace you'd want to live in. We're gonna skip past a couple of things and talk about the main structure here. You can see that we've got some little bits of farm that are all around it. So I wanted to experiment a little bit with building with these tube structures, and I also was thinking about a flood. So what I've decided is that this place is a fallout shelter. It's not a vault or anything really awesome like that. It is just something that a guy built because he saw what was coming and he wanted to protect his family. So he built it outside of his house, up that hill, and when the bombs fell, the family took shelter, and no one really knows what happened to them after that. But as a couple centuries passed, this place got more and more washed out. There were more floods, more soil washed away from underneath this structure, and eventually it slid down the hill and kind of fetched up against the house and the walls. And you can see here that we've got a little section that's broken off, and you can also see that mud and leaves and stuff have started to wash into the exposed end here. Now in a few places, like this one, industrious settlers have come in and built some shack walls to mate to that other side and turn it into a little tiny home. You can see here that this section is exactly the mirror of this section. It also contains what was the only door into the shelter. So we can come inside, around a little bit. It's a tad maze-like, and that's on purpose because I wanted to keep that feeling that this was a found space that was then repurposed. I don't normally care for barracks-style housing, but in this case, with the story that we've crafted for this place, I think it works. So we'll come over here, come out the back. Now I said there was only one door. This is actually a post-apocalypse edition. You can see here, this was the mating piece of that shelter that has broken off against the house, and some industrious folks have come in and turned it into a crappy little apartment. They don't have fusion generators here. They do have some power, but it's just barely enough for their needs, and it's very cobbled together. I didn't go for a crazy complicated power system like I did for some of my other stuff. When I do have all the lights on a single circuit, but when I came and spiffed the place up after Wasteland Workshop, I put in some powered water purifiers. You can see there I'm down to 3 water. So if I liked the place more, I probably would have put those on a separate circuit, but I don't, so I won't. Climb these stairs up onto the structure itself, and you can kind of see all the little bits have broken off on that side. So there is a little bit more to show here, and you can see that down here Lucas Sims is still coming here. Now why one of his guards is naked except for his armor, I don't know. You'd think the guards of the armor vendor would have better than leather armor and tidy whities, but what are you gonna do? Lucas has some competition. Carla's come in quick pass around the outside. I thought this was kind of nice, just a little meditation area for somebody. So there is a little bit more to this place, which I am going to show you just as soon as it gets dark. Welcome back. So let's take a look at the last little bits of this place and what it looks like at night. One thing I forgot to mention in the daytime video was that the Minutemen offered a lot of help to the settlers here. As it turns out, all they really wanted was a place to build another one of these huge mortars. Although the place is nominally aligned with the Minutemen, Minutemen are not held in high esteem in this place. So let's take a look at the clinic of Dr. Payne. This I wanted to look like another rotted structure from before the war that the settlers have made a minimal effort to block up the worst of the holes. Dr. Payne is a recent immigrant from Diamond City, and he is well aware that his name has a tendency to make people nervous, but he's actually a pretty good doctor. He doesn't have a bed for people to lie on, but he does have this comfortable couch. He's got a chemistry station here where he is experimenting with trying to find new remedies and medicines by combining things that are available in the wasteland with some of the different plants that are around, as well as some more exotic plants that are now available with some of the new trade that's opened up from Far Harbor. So you can see that he's fairly well stocked. And I zoom in here because I think it's neat that all the pill bottles actually have labels on them. So back over here we've got some of the most important things for a wasteland doctor, which is some cleanser and some antiseptic and some soap. He also keeps a small stock of toys for when he needs to interact with children. He actually has a really excellent bedside manner. So, despite the name, Dr. Payne is one of the better places to go if you need medical assistance in the wasteland. Now, our last building here is the general store. I've gotten more adventurous with junk decoration. In fact, there's about 150 pounds worth of junk on the various shelves in here, at least according to what was before and after in my carry capacity in the Pip-Boy. But I did want to mention a couple of things. The first is that if you're doing junk decoration, things on the floor still tend to fall over. You can see that that gas can has fallen over and that one is behaving itself. So be aware of that and be careful with it. The second thing is that you have to be careful where you build junk shops and other things that you're going to want to decorate, because I built this one over the fire where Lucas Sims wanted to hang out, so he kept spawning inside the floor, inside this floor piece, which was annoying but okay right up until his Brahmin also started spawning inside the store. It was a bull in a china shop. It quite literally kicked almost everything off of this table and disturbed a lot of things on the shelves over there. So we're gonna say goodbye to the junk shop, which is staffed by an unnamed and uninteresting settler. Take a quick run through the shelter here so you can kind of get an impression of what it looks like at night. And as I run up onto the top here, I want to say thank you very much for watching. If you liked, click the like button. If you want to see more, hit subscribe. If you didn't like, please tell me why, and I'll try and do better next time. This is Nacho Bidness saying, it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.